Hi, this is Little Dwarf playing games while rambling incoherently into a microphone. Why? Well, just because I can, and I continue with Deus Ex, Mankind Divided Blind. Now, I'm here in this ravine after Jensen somehow survived an assassination. Pretty much, he survived. It wasn't really an assassination per se. He survived being poisoned by Marchenko using that orchid poison that he also used on Talos Racker before. Now, I'm still a little bit salty about how stupid that is, because my problem isn't really with the fact that Jensen survived this, because I assume it may have been it may have been explained a little bit more if I went to the bank to learn more about how the orchid poison works in the first place, because there might be something specific about the Jensen's augs or about his organism in particular that would help him survive this. But what I am kind of salty about is that Marchenko allowed him to survive in the first place, because I really feel like they should have planned it better, and if they were competent, they wouldn't let him survive. It's really stupid of them to do it this way, because it basically ensures the failure of their plans in the long run. Jensen is probably their most formidable enemy. I am going to take those things because they are my main enemy. They are literally, mass murderers at this point, what with all of the bombings, and they did try to kill me directly just a minute ago, so I don't feel any moral compunctions about that. Access interdit à toute personne non autorisée. I can't really, if you couldn't tell, I can't really read French, but it clearly says access forbidden, authorized personnel only. Now, obviously, Switzerland has 3 official recognized languages, French, German, and Italian. Whichever one is the most spoken, it depends on the canton, canton is like the administrative division of Switzerland. So I guess I'm currently in a part where they speak French. You know what? I will throw it away after all, because I should probably leave some space for some other things. And I'm running low on inventory space as it is. Throw away the beer as well. I can put the stims on 9 to heal quickly in combat. Painkillers on 8, maybe. EMP on 4. Concussion grenades. Because those are concussion grenades, right? Temporarily blinds any individual, stunning opponents. So it doesn't really disable them, but it makes it harder for them to function temporarily. Okay, there's a vent up there. There are also at least 2 guards, but presumably I'll hack it anyway. First of all, for experience, and second, to have an alternate route.
Anomaly detected.
Okay, I should have plenty of time.
Access granted.
Okay, but I will also check the vent, because I feel like it would generally be a good idea. Because I think damn it. I should have taken them down while they were together. Then I could have done that with but a single takedown. as opposed to 2. You know what? I have so much ammunition that I might as well. Actually shoot them. As opposed to engaging them in melee, although that didn't quite work. Why don't I get ammunition?
Jensen,
It's interesting.
tell me that you're making all that noise in there.
Where the hell have you been, Chicane?
Well, don't you sound like your usual self. Goddamn roaches spotted me looking for you. Had a hell of a time shaking them off. Listen, there's a helipad, north end of the facility.
I'm on my way.
It's interesting that they actually actively use their
I
argumentations.
don't need that ride.
Um,
Found my
I
pilot.
don't think,
That's a relief. Let me know when you're back in Prague.
Copy that.
you know, in previous Deus Ex games, your enemies could technically be augmented, but they didn't really use it like actively in combat. So it's interesting. Interesting to you know, see that change. I'm not sure why didn't I get the EXP for some of them. Okay, I think I'm out of effective range for that, but I'm afraid I might have killed some of them accidentally somehow, because. But then, even if I did kill them, I would still get the EXP, I think. So, I'm not sure why I didn't, to be entirely honest. Well, so much for stealth, but I was never good at it in the first place. So, you know, at this point, I don't even. Frick. Okay, that on the other hand was a bit of a failure. But at this point, frick, I didn't save after. Oh, I did after hacking this. At this point, I don't even feel particularly bad about sacking at this game. Like, it is what it is. And I'm still having a lot of fun despite that. Like, I guess it comes down to the fact, because I could just avoid all of the enemies, and it might have been more easy that way.
He was, but we don't know what his check-in plan was. An extraction team might already be inbound.
But I just, as I said a couple of times already, I feel uneasy with the enemies being around me while I'll try to explore. So I prefer to take them all down first, to then be free. Oh.
Jensen, tell me that you're making all that noise in there.
Where the hell have you been?
I guess maybe I don't get EXP because they are resistant,
Spotted me looking for you.
because they have helmets, and I don't actually,
Listen, there's a helipad, north end of the facility.
and I don't actually take them down with just a single
I
shot.
don't need that ride. I found my pilot.
That's a relief. Let me know when you're back in Prague.
Copy that.
It's cool to see them use the augmentations. You know, they jump far, and they have this dash ability, as well as the cloak. It's really cool to actually, you know, directly see them do that. I'm also kind of impressed by their ability to throw grenades directly into this vent. I wasn't expecting them to be able to do that, and one of them actually tries to flank me, which is also kind of impressive in its own right. General alert, because I sunk. But actually, like, in a way, it might actually be easier, kind of, because now that I've raised the alarm, I suppose most of them are going to come here, and I can just shoot them all down and then explore the area in relative peace after that. whereas, you know, otherwise I would have to worry about would have to worry about actually actively hiding from them. Okay, this one is down as well. I think there's at least 2 more around. Okay, there's one there on the high ground. Two down here. Interesting how usually they can shoot me through the gaps, but it seems that this time they kind of couldn't. Like, how are they not seeing me? This is kind of see-through, you know, with all the holes. So I really don't understand how can they fail to see me. Well, could have done that better, but as I said, at this point I'm kind of resigned to my you know, deeply mediocre skill at this game when it comes to actual combat, and I'm thoroughly enjoying the rest of it anyway. Now, how did I... right, okay, I started on the higher level. Because I want to start exploring, you know, from the beginning. But first I would prefer to actually bring them all down. And I guess I'll hide for a while so that my health regenerates a little bit. And maybe it'll flash them out of cover in the meantime, because if they don't see me they will presumably, you know, run up here. Shadow operative. Yeah, they have like very visible like jumping augs with those spring legs. Okay, are they coming or... Yeah, I think they gave up for a moment. Kind of. Which... Frick. How is this guy dead? Again, I don't quite get it. But then, I also, like, I do care, but not enough to reload, because I didn't kill him, you know, I didn't kill him deliberately, and I'm not doing this for an achievement's sake. I'm literally just doing it because I treat it as part of me role-playing my character, you know, a certain way. So I guess if he's dead, then he's dead. I'm not going to reload the game just because of that. But I'm just interested because I'm not sure how did he die in the first place. Okay, there's some kind of vent up there, but I might not be able to reach that. Like, did they shoot him accidentally? Or did, like, I don't know, if you get shot with too many tranquilizer darts, can you actually die? Because, you know, technically I guess that would kind of make sense. Obviously it's probably not healthy to be struck with so many of those tranquilizers, because it obviously has to be somehow hurtful, you know, if you overdose on it. Part 3 of Divine James biographical series on Nathaniel Brown. So that's the leader of the Santo group, and he's also kind of working with the Illuminati, I think. Like, I seem to remember him being involved directly with them. In one of those meetings, he was mentioned. Tumble of success. The stigma of corruption and the bad reputation continue to dog the French giant. Jacques Lafayette in 2006. Santo desperately needed a fresh face. Nathaniel Brown was still fighting his own losing battles. Successful in the construction industry, became more famously reported for expanding his interest in clean future technologies. While the public related positively to Brown's camera-friendly persona, industry peers and investors weren't so willing to ignore the cost of such a progressive thinking. The cautious response to Brown's $1 million daydreams already had the industrial visionary casting his gaze overseas by the time Santo extended their interest. For Brown, the decision to join the board of directors was a short and serendipitous move. Okay, $1 billion daydreams. Well, let's hack that.
Anomaly detected. Trace program initiated.
Attention all personnel. Clubhouse is closed. We are clearing the site.
Access granted.
Oh, great. The whole email is in French, because again, I imagine I'm in one of those cantons in Switzerland in which they mostly speak French. So I unfortunately can't even speak a word of French. So this is pretty much arcade knowledge to me. Like, I literally have no idea what this says, generally speaking. So, well, yeah, I can't even, like, it is literally like bonjour à tous, good morning to everyone, I assume, but the rest, I can't even, it doesn't make sense for me to try to read it, because first of all, it's going to be offensive to any French speakers, to hear me butcher the pronunciation, and second, I can't even, like, it's not like with Czech, where I can generally guess kind of what it's about, at least. I literally don't know what this says. Oh, great, this is all in French as well. Well, chef the security, so I guess she is the chief of security, but apart from that, like, it's not really that useful for me, to say the least. What is this? Navigation drill. So I guess this is the control panel for this. But how would moving that help me accomplish my goal? Unless I can, like, move it back and then go into whatever they were drilling, but I'm not sure if that has any practical merit. Well, I guess I have more than a few biocells. How many? 7. So I can use one. And now I guess I can try moving the drill, maybe. Okay, so I can move it back. Yeah, and there is some kind of an opening, so maybe it will lead somewhere. Can I move it further? Yes, I can. Okay, so it obviously has to serve some function, but I'm not quite sure. I can, like, maybe drill something. He's jumping right there across those. I don't think this accomplished anything. You can see the camera feed from in front of it. Left. There are like at least 3 of those holes. But... wait. Maybe this is like undrilled, because I can see like the glacier presumably. So maybe if I put it forward, it's actually going to make a new hole entirely. And then... yeah, something is connected here. Although maybe it always did it. And there's a button presumably to make it, but I don't think so. This button was unavailable before, so I assume this is actually activating the drilling. Yeah, I've actually got an achievement for that, Core Driller. So I'm assuming it did exactly what I thought it would do, which is create a whole new pathway for me to explore by drilling the ice. But obviously to explore it, I need to extend it back, to open it. Oh, I guess it's going to do it on its own. And I don't think it can go any further left. Yeah, so I think the purpose of it, it's kind of done. Yeah, glacier. I guess this... I guess this signifies that the 2 hangars are kind of linked. So I guess I'm currently here, right? And we'll be moving to here. The alarm has been raised again, but at this point, it hardly even matters. Most of them are already incapacitated, and the rest will surely join them soon enough. I'm still not sure how and why this guy is dead, but shit happens. I feel bad about it, but not bad enough to actually reload, because I'm not even sure how he died, so I don't feel particularly guilty about it. What with... Frick. Didn't want to shoot him. I guess it's a good moment to... Well, I think he's dead as well, kind of. I think it's a good moment to check that hypothesis if they actually die if you inject them with too much of the tranquilizer, because I shot that one guy at least like 3 times, and he also fell a considerable distance, which would kind of be my fault that one time. It would be my fault, but still not my intent entirely. Not so well. Well, I guess first I should probably take them all down, if possible.
Located hostile.
Shadow operative. There should be room here. Maybe it's actually on the higher level or something. Ah, okay, it just leads, I guess, here. Observation grid. Okay, and this goes back here where I already was. So that was kind of pointless. I guess I should check if the other guy died, due to all of the things that happened to him. He should be somewhere near the drill, right? I think so. Oh, I'll take that. Could definitely be useful if I end up fighting some bots. Where is he? Well, was spotted again. Though again, it doesn't really matter that much. So I guess because he's augmented, he was more resistant towards the taser, because it didn't break him down immediately. Instead I had to actually first tase him and then bring him down after that, you know, with an actual melee takedown. But where is the guy that fell from the thing? I guess maybe that will help me. Ah, he's over there. Okay. So, is he dead? No. So, I don't really understand how it works, to be honest. Because, you know, if somebody should be dead here, it's this guy, because he fell all the way from here and then I shot him like 3 times, at least 3 times. So there is that. Okay, so there are like small, I don't know, workstations or something. I am going to obviously inspect those. Let's start with this one. There's a destroyable vent, but apart from that, I'm not sure if there's anything else. Doesn't really look like it. Although there's a... interesting. So, what is this? Because obviously that's not what what an ordinary power line would look like. You know, cables aren't usually so broad as to allow a whole person to fit inside them. And I don't have... Oh, I actually do have the argumentation that gives me immunity to electricity, right? Electricity, yeah. So I guess I should be straight up immune to this? Yeah, that's kind of cool actually. But I don't want to yet go into the other hangar. So I'll try to keep that in mind. But for now, let me continue onwards here. Okay, I am going to take the EMP Tesla cartridge, pistol, regular ammo. I am going to take the EMP ammo for the pistol, because, you know, if I am carrying a pistol with me at all, might as well try to utilize it a little bit more. And this presumably just goes... Freak, wasn't planning to do that. This presumably just goes onto the roof of this, although no, it can't because there's no roof inside. So I guess I must go inside to learn it. Okay, it's a little bit more trouble than it's worth, at least that's how it feels to me. So screw it. I will just go through here. More computers. I wonder if they will also contain emails in French. I would prefer not, because obviously they will tell me nothing. Let's check it. GARM.
Anomaly detected. Trace program initiated. Access granted.
Forget something? Tell me when you update the door code, you update the laser grid code as well. Okay, so I have a code to the laser grid somewhere. I don't think there's anything else worthwhile in this room. Beer. Okay, there's an enemy here.
Engaging with target.
I'm not sure, cause the guy that didn't go down from the taser, he didn't look like one of those exosuit guys. He wasn't as bulky, so I'm not quite sure why that was the case. Playing cards, chess, another computer.
Anomaly detected. Trace program initiated. Access granted.
Neglecting detail. PK is rotated to you this week. What's PK? No one likes it, but there it is, and no pawning it off. Get the joke? I don't actually, because maybe that's because I don't know what PK is. On someone else's time, it's no fair to others to bait them into doing your detail by playing them at chess. It's like watching Kasparov play an infant with those mouth breathers. What's with you and Eugenevi anyway? So you throw hanging out by the lockers in the boxcar. I'm still not sure what PK is. I get your joke. It's more of a pun actually. Anyway, no problem. I'll get started cleaning in the break room. PK. Again, I don't really understand it. If you need to know, I'm giving him private chess lessons in exchange for computer help. Also, mind your own freaking business. Strange error message on my PC again. I wonder if this is an anagram for something. Backwards, it still doesn't seem to make sense, but presumably it means something. But I'm not going to stand here and try to decipher it, by jumbling the letters around. At first glance, it seems to be gibberish. Same source as the last time. Take care of it. So maybe somebody was hacking their facility. Okay, so this goes out to the hangar again. So I can just continue onwards because screw the camera at this point. Give me all you have as far as alarms go. I think this hangar is clear anyway. Beer. I can't hack any of those computers, so...
This is an alert continuance. Repeat, we are still on general alert.
Okay, apparently I can't have any more EMP ammo, which I'm actually kind of salty about. So apparently 27 is everything that it can stack with. I probably should throw something else out, if anything. Maybe the alcohol. I wasn't drinking it anyway, and it seems to have no actual in-game use as far as giving it to an NPC goes or anything like that. I was keeping it so far because I thought it might be used in one of the quests, but I've been playing this game for like 30 hours or something, and it has never once come up. so far, so I doubt it will at any point. Okay, there's another computer here, some notes which are illegible. I would like to learn more about what exactly are they studying here, like what is the purpose of this facility, like in more detail.
Anomaly detected. Trace program initiated.
Okay, might be a little screwed here, but it kind of
Access granted.
depends. To Vadim Orlov. Now, Vadim Orlov is already dead. This is the scientist that supposedly was supposed to know something about my upgraded orgs, but I found him in the apartment, so I guess Old Blue Eye. I'm not sure who that is. Further examination of the org kit has revealed that it has much lower LD50 than I initially thought. The micrograms per meter dose I prescribed for Talos Rucker was 3 times what is actually required. The pain he must have felt must have been unimaginable. I'm interested to see what a lower dose will have on multiple subjects. Can you get me additional subjects for testing? Most likely I'll be back in BH, not sure what that is, before you bring them, but Milan knows what to do. So I guess they were testing the poison on other people, which, you know, it certainly doesn't surprise me. I've seen some really crazy and evil stuff in this series, especially in Human Revolution. Will do what I can, and when I bring them, I will only need to know if the outcome of the dose is anything less than death. The amount of pain is irrelevant to me. Your champagne order has arrived. Greeting, Mr. Orlov. I'm happy to inform that it has arrived at our distribution warehouse. If you have changed your mind, please contact me and I'll gladly arrange that for you. If you still prefer to have the cases picked up, they will be packaged and crated and ready for you or member of your staff. I hope you enjoy your upcoming party. Cheerio. Okay, that hardly matters anymore. What with the guy being dead? It must be a quite old email at this point, because obviously he's not only dead, he has died in a completely different place, that being Prague, and quite some time ago at this point.
Intruder alert. Repeat, we have an intruder.
Yeah, you have an intruder. So what? Deal with it.
All personnel on full alert. Shoot hostile on sight.
Okay, now let me check the middle right here. So what is this? I admit I'm ignorant enough that it doesn't really strike me as anything in particular. Like, is it, I don't know, some kind of a generator? Is it a freezer? Because it seems to be encased in ice. So maybe those are like chemical samples or chemicals that need to be kept, you know, in low temperatures. So they use the glacier as a sort of natural freezer. I'm not sure, but I guess I may learn more about that in the future, and this is another set of those. But I am kind of interested in... Okay, so how I would need to go there, but I don't think I can actually jump through there without the dash org, which I don't currently possess. But I will go a little bit back just to be sure, because after all, I did get an achievement for that, so presumably it should lead somewhere important, because otherwise, you know, why would they even care that much if you did it or not? Now, how would I even get there? That is the question I'm currently having. Ah, there's a vent up here actually. Freak. Well, never mind the alarm at this point. Oh, there's also apparently a drawer I didn't search. But more importantly, there's a vent up here, guarded by lasers, but it hardly matters. You know, the alarm has already been raised so many times that you know, they can't really be anything. They can't really be any more alerted at this point. Okay, that didn't really work. Okay, this should be high enough. It isn't really. Okay, that's kind of clumsy and annoying. Okay, there's one more crate here. Surely 3 will be enough, right? Great, now I can't actually reach it. Oh, come on, this is ridiculous. Okay, I officially stopped caring at this point, because I find it a little bit ridiculous how I couldn't get up there, even though I clearly should be able to. With the height of this. Well, I guess I'm not getting... unless I can bring the drill all the way back, and then, because the railing itself, you know, this part stays kind of consistent. I mean, not consistent, it stays in place. So, you know... if I bring this close enough, maybe I can actually reach it from the sort of balcony over here. And if not, then I just use it at the door like a normal person. But it would seem a little bit of a waste after drilling that hole. Yeah, this didn't really help me in any perceivable way, to be honest. Yeah, so that is kind of pointless. Oh well. Yeah, this is not nearly high enough to allow me to actually mantle onto the drill. Well, I guess I won't know what's in this hole after all, which, as I said, I am a little bit salty about, but it is what it is. Now, there is also like a strange pipe. Was I here? Ah, yes, of course, because I have broke the wall here. Well, I guess there is also this, which I could try, because this is obviously rather high, so I could try getting into here. Maybe it'll lead me somewhere interesting, but it doesn't really look like it, because it goes into the other direction, so presumably it'll just enter one of the other rooms. And there's a security station of some sort, which at this point, you know, I've raised every conceivable alarm anyway, so hacking any security... Oh. Is that... No. Is that Marchenko? He kind of looks a little like him. You know, he's very bulky. But, because who else could that be? This is not Jaron Namir. And obviously he's long dead at this point in the story. And obviously it would have to be presumably some character I know, because otherwise why would they create this asset? I guess maybe if I read whose computer this is, Old Blue Eye. So I guess this might be Marchenko after all, because Old Blue Eye was talking with the doctor about the effects of the poison, which would be consistent with what Marchenko himself was doing, and what he was interested in. And I guess the contents of this might kind of also shed some light on that. Alisa M. Now, isn't that the name of either his supposed daughter or his wife? I guess I'll learn more as I read it. Reference email. Why would you tell me this now? What possible reason might you have? Do you wish me to stop, or are you just sickened by the taste of your own guilt? It matters not. I exhausted myself, raging through all that might have been, but even if it's true, how could I let her see me now? You know what I've done. I may blame others for reforging the men inside, but the rest is my own doing. Even descending is my own choice. You and any others simply allowed me to become this monster I needed to be. Yeah, I think this is Marchenko. Yet if I cannot forgive you, perhaps I might still understand. I know well the cancerous pain that comes with failure, and failing to keep safe what is most important to us brings the worst pain of us all. Be at peace. It's clear to me now that the death or rebirth of what I held dear simply reinforces my goal. I have always tried to hold firm to my convictions for the sake of everyone until the very end we hold before us now. The people have always some champion whom they set over them and nurse into greatness. This and no other is the root from which a tyrant springs. When he first appears, he is a protector. From where I have gone, there is no coming back. I think I have always known that. I need to go. Your Vitekin. Unfortunately, I don't know either this word nor this word, so I assume this is some kind of a term of endearment, presumably in Russian, but I don't really know. Trouble coming. Estimated time of arrival 4 hours. Be ready. Operation update. Approaching target coordinates. Meteorological data indicates high pressure system approaching rapidly. Anticipate increased strong winds. Possible sandstorm. Gold mask will hopefully help with visibility. Color notwithstanding. This is about all signs indicate that no parties suspect an ambush. This is about the ambush in Dubai. Obviously the mercs, they do look the same as the ones here, heavily augmented and with those golden masks. But I'm still not quite sure what this is all about. Although I am more and more sure that this is indeed him, and so is this, Old Blue Eye being his alias. Anything new on the newspaper? Oh, there is. Pope weighs on de-extinction. Pope Theodore III urged scientists around the world to seriously reconsider their actions before resurrecting another extinct species. The Pope's statement, issued after scientists in China released photo of Kali, the first beige dolphin to be successfully brought back into existence, may be a case of too little too late. So I guess, first of all, it's interesting. Apparently, well, it isn't as interesting as I would have liked, because I would have liked to hear more about the inner workings of the church in this timeline. But it's interesting that at the time, I guess, well, it might not even be the first one, but the current pope in the timeline is black, which there's nothing wrong or nothing weird with that, but I just feel like me coming from Poland, it being still a rather conservative country, I would say, in general attitudes. I wouldn't say it's particularly strongly racist in a malicious way, simply because it's so homogeneous. It's 99 point something % white. So people over here don't really hate people of other races simply because they don't really even interact with them that much. But they don't really they consider them unusual. If you're a person of color in Poland, you might get stared on, not because people think there's something wrong with you, but simply because they are not used to that. So what I'm getting at is people in Poland, that especially some of those more traditionalist people, they would probably find it weird if the Pope was black, which for me is enough of a reason for there to be one, because I myself am rather staunchly progressive when it comes to social matters. So annoying or confusing people who hold conservative values is something that kind of amuses me, because most of the time I feel like their prejudices make no sense. This actually being one of them. What does it even matter? What is the color of the skin of the Pope? Come on. But I just found it interesting, I guess, kind of, due to my own Polish perspective. What he's talking about is perhaps even more interesting. Bringing back extinct species, which is actually something that's already being considered in the real world. I don't have a strong enough opinion either way, because I don't consider myself to be educated enough to foresee the full consequences of it. I consider it to be immensely cool, but I'm not sure what are the risks involved. So it's probably better left to people who actually know what they are doing, actual scientists. Now, isn't this Megan? Megan Reed. It is a story from Hong Kong. So, is it about VersaLife? I wonder if she'll be mentioned in this, because she kind of looks like Megan, right? Maybe I'm wrong. Haven't seen her in a while. It's no secret that mechanical augmentations have fallen out of favor. So much that many biotechnology companies have turned their back on human enhancement altogether. But is this a good thing? Can't sit back and wait for the world to calm down. Head of Life Sciences Laboratory at VersaLife. Yes, machinery and software can be tampered with, but you know what isn't? The very fiber of our being, our DNA. Historically, the medical application of gene therapy has focused on correcting genetic diseases. It can do much more. You won't need to chop off limbs or add parts to gain super strength, to become immune to toxins, to see infrared. We have these abilities inside us. We just have to flip the switch. So I guess this is about the shift from mechanical augmentations towards the more nano augmentations that were common by the time of not common, that were becoming actually they were not at all common, they were becoming relevant at the time of Deus Ex 1, which it was actually a plot point that J.C. Denton and Paul Denton were noticeably more advanced than the older mechanically augmented agents, such as Gunther Hermann and Anna Navarre. But but I find it ironic that it says that machinery and software can be tampered with, making them unreliable, whereas seeming to suggest that nano augmentations will be safer. Whereas if you played Deus Ex 1, then you know that kill switches worked very well with nano augmentations as well. So what is this about? Chapter 4 of the series so another chapter of the biography of Brown, the chief of Santo, already a major contractor on Oman's ambitious project, was in a powerful position to financially adopt Rabi'ah after the catastrophic crash of the oil markets. With full ownership by 2019, the following year, Brown revealed his own version of Rabi'ah, the world's first completely self-sufficient corporate city, fully 3D printed from sustainable materials and ready in just 2 years. Okay, this is actually kind of insanely ambitious. If they really want to build a whole city in just 2 years, like currently, it can very well take more than 2 years to build a single building, like to build, a large home. Obviously, it depends on what exact methods you use. If you build it from prefabricates, then obviously you can do it in maybe even days, but surely in weeks. But it can take more than 2 years to build a building, depending on the method. And here they want to build a whole city, but then again, it is to be fully 3D printed, so it is made from prefabricates pretty much. So they have it's less building and more assembling, I would imagine. The ambition was exhilarating but hard to swallow. Began construction in 2026, plagued by technical problems. When the AUG incident hit, development ground to an expensive halt. Brown was dismayed. Rabi'ah was supposed to be proof of concept for what he called city as a product. If successful, Santo's leader was poised to offer the world a potential for civilization printed to order and run as a service by the corporation itself. Now his investors off the bandwagon and the death of workers, Santo leader turned to a brilliant but controversial solution: AUG labor. Wait, so are you telling me he wasn't using AUG labor before? So why was, if he wasn't, then why was the AUG incident even a problem with the construction of it? And besides that, why wasn't he doing that? Like, you couldn't have really foreseen. Well, I guess he could. He could foresee kind of what was happening if he is really Illuminati. But then not to the fullest extent, because obviously Darrow kind of blindsided them. In the end, he kind of betrayed them. They weren't planning for the AUG incident to go the way it did. It was supposed, the whole chip was supposed to be more of a failsafe, a backdoor control, rather than something that would cause people to go berserk. But I'm still confused why he didn't use AUG labor in the first place. It's obviously very efficient overall, and as I said, you could hardly predict the AUG incident. Okay, I didn't want to pull that out. Okay, so is this one of the bombs that Alison Stanek built for? Yeah, I guess it must be that she built for Marchenko. And there are the cloaks and the masks. The masks themselves are kind of interesting. They're like angular. They have those weird shapes. Well, weird. I guess they are not that weird. They are just, interesting. Because it isn't a smooth mask. It's like a sharp and angular. It looks cool. Yeah, I'll take that. Vent cover, which is actually where I came from, because it's just extended here. Now there's a new issue of the Samizdat as well. Oh, and this is indeed really new. There's no justice like augmented justice. R.I.P. Prague. Prague's overworked police force is reportedly reserving full investigations for priority homicides only. The underlying message is clear. Murdered as an aug in this city, and the only thing investigating your corpse will be rats. This week, a well-known local journalist and an augmented woman, Angela Gunn, forced the police to assign their quote-unquote best Detective Montag, an aging veteran scheduled to retire later this year. He's since confirmed that the case is complex with few leads. Good job is just him then. As much as we'd like to believe that Montag is Prague's elderly answer to Sherlock Holmes, we suspect this case is being filed under Who Cares. It actually isn't. Like, I care deeply for that issue, and I hope it's going to be revisited once I return back to Prague, because obviously the case has proven unconclusive so far. Earthquakes, man-made menace. This has actually been mentioned a couple of times already in the lore. Samizdat investigated last year whether geobombs are responsible for funneling earthquakes. The why remains unclear. Since 1999, earthquakes at magnitude 7.0 and above maintained a steady annual average. A reliable informant in the US government tells us that the less dramatic data is being buried in the public report. Seismic activity below magnitude 4.0, tremblers that a lot of people in high-risk areas hardly noticed anymore, have increased year on year by a stunning 300%. So what's going on? Are mysterious government scientists really detonating tens of thousands of explosives, or is something else afoot? We unearthed something called acoustic wave theory, first proposed over a decade ago but rejected by many geologists. It seems to posit that seismic activity, certain frequencies that could carry potential danger, to trigger sympathetic quakes up to thousands of miles from the original epicenter. Maybe these so-called bombs aren't bombs at all. Is that noise you can't hear actually the ground being pulled from under your feet? Okay, I don't really understand what that means. Let me read that again. Seismic activity emits acoustic wave energy with certain frequencies that could carry the potential to trigger sympathetic quakes up to 1,000 miles from the original epicenter. So I guess it's talking about how one earthquake can sort of create another earthquake by supposedly making like the tectonic plates thousands of miles ago vibrate in a particular acoustic due to a particular acoustic wave energy frequency. I have no idea if any of this is plausible in real world terms, because I know next to nothing about earthquakes anyway, or geology for that matter in a broader sense. So it's pretty much, it could very much be science fiction, or it could be kind of based on some theory that really exists. I wouldn't know either way, to be honest. But I think I will hack that just in case, old Blue Eye. Although at this point, as I said, the cat is out of the bag, really, regarding the whole security situation. Like, everyone and their mother knows that I'm here at this point.
Access granted.
But still, if there are turrets, okay, there aren't. So, what the hell? I couldn't have known. If there were turrets, then it would be prudent to disable them. Yeah, general alert, because I suck. Well. Okay, I think I've investigated everything in this hangar, so I should be ready to go to the other one. But I am kind of salty that I didn't get to the drilled hole, so maybe I'll try to do that next time. But for now, that's actually everything, so I'm going to save here and end it here. So that's all for this one, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!